Tierra Hodges, Grace Van Rye, and Tate Walters following the 2022 Southern Conference Women's Basketball Championship. Coach, opening statement, and we'll take some questions.
Yeah, it's a hard one, obviously. I think the toughest thing is there was never a doubt in our mind that we were a championship team. So, I mean, just never thought we would be in this position right now. So when it doesn't come to fruition, that's the toughest thing, because we just felt it was our time. Everything just seemed aligned. Everything just seemed as it should. So, but hats off to Mercer. They're used to being in that third quarter. We just got hit with a barrage, and it was just snowballing fast, and there was very little that we could do. I probably could have spent all my timeouts, but I don't know. Just the way that every shot started falling for them, that's a credit to. We knew they were going to elevate, and we knew it was going to be a game of runs. We just didn't expect that. So, but as I told this team, I couldn't. I think this is year 19 for me, and I don't think I've played in NCAA tournaments. I've coached in NCAA tournaments as an assistant, NITs, everything. I've had WNBA players, and I wouldn't trade this group for any of them. It's they're pretty special, and yeah, I'm gonna stop there because I'm an ugly crier and it sounds weird when I talk.
All right,
so.
we'll take some questions.
Okay.
Questions? We have a mic, so yeah. Thank you.
Tierra, I think you'd played every second of this tournament, and I'm not saying there's anything, but do you think that Mercer tried to get you in foul trouble, that they tried to set you up to get you out?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, well, I mean, of course, like, it'll be great for them if I did, of course, but I think they knew what I was going to do, so, like, they kind of scouted me very well, and they knew kind of my drive, so they knew to step and try to take those charges on me, and they kind of just played to my strengths, I guess you could say.
Question, front row.
Coach, when you're going through that stretch in the third quarter, is it just almost like to the point where, well, things were going wrong foul-wise for you, obviously, and then they just started hitting shots, and it almost became a case of it seemed like too much to try to fix all at once because it just a snowball. Can you kind of just speak to what you how do you have to navigate that?
Yeah, I was drinking from a fire hose. I mean, you hit on it. So a lot of times when things are snowballing, we can press, but we couldn't really press because I took a chance and tried to place. I had to get these kids back on the floor. They're all in foul trouble. We try to go small, but that's not a lineup that we normally use a lot when we're trying to be a scoring lineup. And especially when we try to, rebound, you take it. I mean, you hit it on the head, Scott. Like, it was a lot to take in, and I'm going to look back as a coach and try to figure out where I could have did a little bit better. But it was a situation when you have, your top two kids and in foul trouble. I think Grace was right behind them in foul trouble. It made us have a slower lineup, our non-pressing lineup in to try to stop the bleeding. It was a lot at once. And so, like I said, hats off to them because, I felt like we defended not too much differently than we did in the first time. We had a couple breakdowns that probably led to some easy baskets that may have helped get them going. But, hats off to them. They just came out and started hitting, like, shot after shot, and we knew that could happen, and we just didn't expect it to happen that fast.
Another question.
Grace, when Tierra and Tate got 4 fouls, it must have seemed awful long. You probably got in foul trouble because you were forcing it. But, as an inside player, you all of a sudden basically didn't have the people who fed you, the people that you interacted with, and that everything just mushroomed at that point. And I just had, is that accurate?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I'm not used to Tierra Hodges being out of the game, and I am sadly from Tate because Tate seems to get in foul trouble a lot in our games. But that's kind of when it hit me that we have to get the ball inside, and Coach was harping on that. And, that just shows on what we need to work on in the future, especially with the young bucks coming in. It's hard when, you just expect it to come in because Tate can read me, Baby T can read me. And so I would say that is where we kind of snowballed because, you know, I was open in 1 second, and if they didn't get it in, you know, they had to take it upon themselves to go score. So, yeah, I would say it made things a little more difficult.
Tate, obviously you weren't here in 2019, but to experience, and obviously it's a moment of sadness right now, but what can you take from this whole experience of reaching the final and the dogfights y'all had to get here, and especially like your final minute against Chattanooga in regulation to kind of get the team to overtime? What can you take from this going in your Furman future?
This has been an unbelievable year. It's like every year, just a roller coaster, but just with these two seniors and Grayson and Bay, our other seniors, showing me how to lead and take the punches. I think that this team has just showed so much grit, and we really, really wanted it this year. We wanted it for our seniors, and we just, of course, you always want a championship, but I know we're going to be back here again with all the great young players we have and all the grit that we showed. This has just grown us and prepared us for the next year.
And Tierra, I know this is a hard moment right now. Can you just kind of put into words what this year has meant to you and what this school has meant to you?
Sorry. This year has been everything. Like, my decision to come back was because of them, because of Coach Carson. Like, I mean, my first year here, my goal was to win a championship, to be her first team on her team when she won her first championship. And I mean, that's been my goal. I fought for that. I came back for that, and we didn't reach that. But that doesn't take away from everything that we've been through this year. We've been through our ups and downs, and we've grown as a team. Our culture on and off the court is amazing. Our chemistry is amazing. And this team is great. Like, I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't trade them for anything. Like, this meant everything to me. This helped me grow my game to prepare me for the future. I'm just grateful for them.
I think that's a good place to end. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.